Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Hall County Sports Television. I'm your host, Gary Glenn, and we start this week's show with the football wrap-up as the teams are getting into the season. Our game of the week saw the Battle of the Birds take place at Chestatee with the homestanding War Eagles taking on the visiting Falcons of Flowery Branch. And this one, it was all Branch, 29-0 shutout. A typical first game, though, for many respects, and some miscues and turnovers on both sides, but also some flashes of what can be. The Falcons actually used a couple of quarterbacks on the night, neither of whom was the anticipated starter, Jason Johnson, who sat out the whole game due to a situation which happened before the game, and one which Coach Chris Griffin was reluctant to elaborate on. Cortez Davis took a few snaps, but the main job of directing the offense fell to freshman Nick Lance, who threw for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also did have a fourth-quarter pick by Chestatee's Bailey Camp, but by that time, there was little doubt as to who would win. Now, the Branch defense pitched a shutout and held the War Eagles to 91 yards and only 5 first downs. For the Branch, Jeremiah Goss reportedly had 150 all-purpose yards and 2 scores, one on a touchdown toss from Lance. Davis had a 66-yard scamper for 6 and an interception, and Hayden Coley had a touchdown catch and a 2-point conversion run. Marvin Rosario, with 65 yards rushing, paced Chestatee. Now, the War Eagles will play at West Hall next, while Flowery Branch has a week off. And after the game, I had a chance to talk to Falcon coach Chris Griffin, who has started the season with a win for the first time as a head coach at the Branch.
All right, Chris. Season's off to a good start. 29-0 shutout. Give me your analysis of the game.
Our defense played great, no doubt. They were prepared. They did a lot of good things. Special teams, I was pleased with that, other than the screw up on the punt return that we had. Our kid knows better, so we'll address that. Offensively, we did some good things at times, but drop balls, some bad reads. Of course, we had a little adversity going into the game, but I was proud of the main guys for doing what it took to win and put points on the board, and we'll get better from this.
Well, the quarterback by committee thing kind of worked out for you tonight. You played some people, and now down the road you showed people you got some depth and some weapons.
We do. We lost a good one last year. We were going into the season not sure it was going to be, and when it's good to know that we've got a couple of guys that can get it done, and we'll find a way to keep getting better.
At times, I thought your running game with Goss looked pretty good.
He's a good one. Sometimes he doesn't need much help, but our offense line did a good job opening up some holes. He ran hard, and he's going to have to carry us if we're going to make this run.
The linebacking corps played especially well tonight, Chris. Ford and Smith and Coley.
I'm going to tell you, those kids are something special. They're great football players, but they're better young men. They're phenomenal in the classroom. They're leaders. They're kind of our bell cows in the entire program, and so I can't brag enough on them. They played a heck of a game.
And the other Coley on offense showed some pretty good hands.
That's right. Well, both of them kind of waiting their time, and both of them made some good plays. Their dad is actually living in Mississippi, and he comes back on the weekend, so I know he was excited to see some things tonight. So I was proud of both of them.
Well, now you got a couple of weeks to work on some stuff. What are you taking away from this game overall, Chris?
Well, thank goodness we didn't get anybody hurt. I think we're healthy. We're going to be able to look at it on film. And, obviously, there's things that we've got to correct, got to make right. What do we take away from it? We're 1-0. I mean, that's anytime you're 1-0 after week 1, you got to feel good about where you're at. I'm proud of the guys. We're going to enjoy next week as far as an extra week to prepare for the region. But we've got a tough 9-game stretch right there without a break once we get going. So we've got to be shored up mentally and physically, and we'll make a run.
Well, enjoy this one for a little while and get back to work.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Also chatted with the Coley brothers, Hayden and Dalton. Hayden helped out the offense, as I told you already, while Dalton was a key cog on the defensive side.
How's it feel to get this first one under your belt? Had a little adversity coming in, had to make some lineup changes, but you managed to get it done. You had a touchdown catch and a 2-point conversion.
Yes,
tell me about the game.
It was just great. We had Nick Lance starting at quarterback because Jason had some problems, but he threw me a touchdown, and it was just a great first one.
Feels good to be 1-0, doesn't it?
It feels really good.
Long summer, Ready to get the season underway.
Yeah, I'm ready for the next game. We have a bye week, but I want the next game to come.
All right, Dalton, tell me about the defense now. You guys pitched a shutout tonight. That's always something that you strive for.
Well, we've been training and preparing for Chestatee for about 2.5 weeks now, and it feels good to know that the 2.5 weeks of practice are finally paying off with this goose egg. And it's been really good.
The game was a little ragged in places, but that's kind of to be expected for a first game.
Yeah, we had a little first game jitters, but we worked them out, and we'll be ready for next week.
Well, you actually get a week off, right? 2 weeks to prepare before you get into that region schedule, but then it's like a marathon, right? Suck it up and go.
Yes, yeah. Yes.
So how you guys going to approach the off week? Just maybe rest a little bit and then get ready to go 9 straight?
Yeah, we're going to rest on this weekend. Might not have practice, but then we're going to get after it and get ready for the next game.
What do you think about the team's chances this year, guys, realistically? I mean, the region looks like you're going to be one of the favorites.
Well, if we perform like we know we can, we should pull through.
All right. What led to one of you guys playing offense and playing defense?
Well,
this is Hayden, by the way.
Yeah, well, I can catch the ball and he can't, so that's why I'm on offense.
And I'm not scared to hit people like he is.
Okay, guys.
And Jeremiah Goss now has a whole year under his belt now as a running back for the Falcons.
About the game tonight, you guys, you had a couple of touchdown runs tonight. A little slow getting started, but once you got started, you kind of put it on.
I think the line did a good job of getting started. We started out a little slow. We was missing blocks and anticipating blocks that weren't really happening. And once we got into the flow, we started to calm down and move the ball.
What's the attitude on the team this year, Jeremiah, as you get ready now to take a week off and then get into the region schedule?
I mean, we're a young team, so we really got to, some of the kids we're not as, experienced as some of the kids that have been here in the past, so we just really got to keep working at it. But we're high right now.
Well, and sometimes being a young team gives you some enthusiasm, too. You're ready to get out there and hit somebody and prove yourselves.
Yeah, we are definitely ready today. School was it was real hard to pay attention in school today.
Well, how are you going to approach the off week now and then get ready for the region schedule?
We're just going to take this week and work on getting to Lanier, right? We're going to study down and get ready for the week coming.
And what about the freshman quarterback Nick Lance, pressed into service almost at the very last minute? He says they played the game not only to get a win, but also for late Falcon lineman Keaton Coker, who passed away this summer after a struggle with brain cancer.
Starter as the quarterback tonight and split some time with Cortez Davis. First of all, Nick, congratulations on a good game tonight.
Thank you.
Now, you kind of were sort of pushed into the quarterback slot almost at the last minute now. Looked like there were some jitters, but then you sort of settled down, huh?
Yes, sir. I did after the first drive, after I threw the check down to Jeremiah. After I completed my first pass, I calmed down a lot. I was really nervous before the game, though.
Well, but scoring a touchdown on a touchdown pass, that kind of eases some of the jitters a little bit, huh?
Yes, sir. It does.
What about the team overall this year, Nick?
I think we're looking pretty good. Our offense saw some stuff to, tune up on, but our defense is looking really good today. I think we'll do good this year.
Well, when you give the defense something to work with and then they spot you a shutout, that's got to make the offense feel pretty good, too.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, defense did really good tonight.
What's the overall attitude of the team?
Feeling confident coming into the game, and our attitude, we kind of just play for Keaton, so we're really kind of inspired. We want to play for him.
Yeah, Keaton Coker, the
yes,
young man who passed away from brain cancer.
Yes,
yeah, is this kind of a rallying point for the team this year?
I think it is.
Now, as for the Chestatee coach, Bill Foreman, he remained upbeat despite the loss.
We took a shot at him. We were gambling a little bit, bringing some pressures, and we just missed him in the backfield. So there's some things we can really take away some bright spots. We found some young guys I think we can rely on that stepped up and competed. So I'm excited. We're gonna have to clean some things up. We're gonna have to clean up the turnovers and things like that. But there's some things that we're gonna build on, and definitely some things we got to fix come Monday.
Conventional wisdom is that you make maybe as much improvement from game 1 to game 2 as you kind of the rest of the year. Is that where you see it and a chance now to improve on these things?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt. We're going to build on what we did right, and we're going to fix what we need to fix. So I'm looking for a better game next Friday.
Well, it's going to be against West Hall, of course, is an up-and-coming program. They were leading Johnson pretty good and probably going to come on and win that one in the Battle of Oakwood. So tell me a little bit about playing the Spartans.
Well, they're going to bring their A game. There's no doubt. That was a tight ball game last year. It was 7-6 at the end, and we had to go for it on fourth down late to win it. So I expect another tight ball game with those guys. I know they're going to bring their A game, and that's fine. We're going to bring ours too.
Yeah, okay. What'd you tell the team here?
I told them, let's build on what we did right, and let's fix what we got to fix.
As I said, Foreman and his Chesterton troops are at West Hall this coming Friday. The Spartans kept the trophy Oak board in the Battle of Oakwood as they smacked Johnson 28-0. Quan Williams had 112 yards rushing for the Spartans. He scored 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing, and 1 on a pick 6. Ty Statham scored the other touchdown for West Hall. On Friday, Johnson will be hosting Banks County, 28-21 losers to Commerce. In other games, Gainesville got smacked hard on the road by Class 6A Grayson, 39-0. Mikey Gonzalez did throw for 154 yards, but also had 2 interceptions as he quarterbacked the Red Elephants. After this Friday off, the Red Elephants will host Wanda-Barrow on September the 12th. Now, Riverside had a strong defensive effort, a 20-10 win over Fellowship Christian. J.J. McAlston had 2 interceptions for the Eagles. Tyreek Holmes returned a pick for a touchdown, while Chris Howard had a touchdown catch and racked up 12 tackles on defense. Hunter Sims threw for 2 scores, and Malik Falk rushed for 100 yards for the Eagles, who also have an early bye week. East Hall is 1-0 after the Vikings had a 2013 win at West Lynn. East Hall will be at Pickens County on Friday. East Jackson edged by Lakeview 13-6. Lakeview got 116 yards passing and a touchdown toss to Tristan Regnier from quarterback David Abbey, who also rushed for 40 yards, but he did throw a pair of interceptions. The Lions will play at St. Francis and Alpharetta on Friday. Also coming up this Friday, North Hall finally will open the season. They'll be hosting Jefferson. The powerful Dragons beat up on Wanda-Barrow 41-7 this past Friday night. Also, in a college football note, former Gainesville quarterback Deshaun Watson got in the game at Georgia in the Dogs as they hosted Clemson over there between the hedges on this past Saturday. And Deshaun did pretty well. He showed flashes of the form that set all kinds of high school records as he threw a 29-yard strike to Mike Williams in the Tigers' 45-21 loss to the Dogs. The softball report is coming up next.
You've decided it's time to get in shape. Now let Falcon Parkway Fitness in Flowery Branch help you achieve your goal. Open since 2000, Falcon Parkway Fitness features free weights, exercise machines, group fitness classes, as well as personal training in a fun family environment with childcare, lockers, showers, and 24-hour access. Come by for a free consultation with a certified personal trainer. And just next door, check out Optimum Body Care Day Spa with massage, facials, and waxing, or K. Michael Salon for hair and nail care. Falcon Parkway Fitness is your hometown family gym, located in Flowery Branch, right behind the public shopping center.
We're back. I'm Gary Glenn. This is Hall County Sports. Now, one of the more improved teams on the softball diamond recently is the Gainesville squad. Earlier this week, we dropped by the Lady Elephants practice. We're here with Coach Roger Parham of the Gainesville Lady Red Elephants. And, Roger, to say that you are much improved may be much of an understatement. I mean, before we turn the camera on, you're talking about you've already broke the school record for wins in the month of August.
Well, the girls have worked extremely hard. They came out and were really dedicated all summer long. Great senior leadership. We only have 3 girls that are seniors. So they really made a commitment very early in June when I took over the program to make this program respectable. And it's not been because of lack of effort, maybe some directional thought processes, but we've really got to the point where every day we're trying to be better than we were the day before.
I saw you earlier at that tournament over at Ivy Watson Park and over there in Lanier Point, right. Lanier Point's tournament over there, and you played East Hall. And East Hall is a pretty good team. I mean, it's tough to say in the beginning of the season how anybody's going to be, but right. Could you already kind of see a little bit of something there?
Well, when we first played in that tournament, we really needed to play. And early in the year, sometimes you need to play so you can know what you need to work on versus what you think you need to work on. And so we found out what we needed to work on, and the strengths that I thought we would have, we displayed that weekend, and the weaknesses that we had, they really showed themselves then. And so from that standpoint, I think that was the bonus, the positive of that tournament. And East Hall has a very good program. But we just try to play the game the way it needs to be played every day, regardless of the opponent.
Now, at the time we're doing this interview, you're 10-4 on the season. Other than hard work, what has done it for you? What has been the turnaround?
I think attention to detail. I think not panicking, managing innings, trying to put straight numbers, not crooked numbers up defensively. Yeah, we'll give up 1, but we try to stay away from that 2, 3, 4, 5 run inning. And I think that comes from girls just relaxing and saying, hey, let's manage the inning. Let's make the routine play routine, and let's get in the dugout. Let's just get our 3 outs and get in the dugout and try not to do too much.
Not to give them those extra outs.
Right. Everybody has to get them out 21 times. And we try to stay away from the 24, 25, 26, 27 out games.
With the errors that can be committed.
Yes.
Who has been doing it for you this year? What's your leadership like?
Well, when I came on board in June, I really knew that the biggest way for us to be competitive was to secure ourselves in the circle, to get a quality pitching effort, and to be solid defensively. And that's the quickest way to be competitive. Now, to win, you got to hit. Kayla Street has done a wonderful job for us in the circle. She's around 75 to 80% first pitch strikes, and her base on ball to strikeout ratio is about 9 to 1. So she's striking out 9 girls to every 1 girl she walks, and so that's a huge thing. And our pitching philosophy is throw strike 1 and don't walk people, and you'll have a chance to be competitive. So that's been the biggest turning key for us.
Any other players that you want to mention? I know this is team sport, but there must be 1 or 2 that are really getting it done.
There is. Whitney Ledford behind the plate has done a wonderful job offensively for us. She's really done a good job as far as it's cornerstone of the pitching staff as far as keeping them focused. Abby Smallwood, another senior for us, has done a great job. Angel Goss has done a wonderful job for us. Kayla Montague in center field leading it off. She's really worked on her slap technique and laying the ball down. So those girls have really done a super job. We've had Madison Oliver that I think she had a home run the other day against Druid Hills, which was the first home run out of the ballpark in about 3 or 4 years for the program. So, and she's a freshman, so that's a bright spot. And Kara England, which has done a wonderful job in the circle as well as first base defensively. So we're proud of all those girls.
Makeup of the team, seniors, juniors, sophomores?
It's pretty equal. We have 3 seniors, so it's probably about 3, 4, 4, and 4. You know, and so we just got to continue to get better.
Tell the folks where you came from now.
I was at Mill Creek High School for the last 9 years. Before that, I was at South Gwinnett High School. I coached fast pitch at both places. I've been dear friends with Coach Vickery a long, long time, and when the job came open here, it was just a bunch of circumstances came into play with my youngest son leaving Mill Creek and me getting a chance to see my oldest son play at Piedmont College. He plays baseball there, and coming to Gainesville allowed me just to have to coach softball, not baseball, so it opened up some possibilities from a personal standpoint.
Coach, sounds like you're making it fun here.
It's fun every day. If I have a tough day in the classroom, coming out here with these girls makes it really enjoyable, and it's a good way to end my day.
Now, East Hall beat Lumpkin County 5-3. Kayla Jones drove in the winning run to give the Lady Vikings the lead in the 7th inning. Stephanie Redmond helped her own cause pitching, and she added a run and an RBI for East Hall, and she struck out 8. And then Josie Coker went 4 for 4 at the plate, all singles. That led East Hall to a 5-0 victory in 7 innings over Stevens County and Toccoa. Redmond went the distance for the complete game shutout, scattering 6 hits and striking out 5. Vikings took the lead in the 3rd inning on an RBI single by Logan Turner. They finished the week by beating Franklin County 6-4. Callie Turner was 3 for 3 with 3 singles for East Hall. Emma House hit a 2-run single for the Lady Vikings, and Logan Turner stole home. We hit the trails with cross country next on Hall County Sports.
Turner Wood & Smith is with you every step of the way. Established in the Gainesville area in 1905. Turner Wood & Smith has become Northeast Georgia's largest independent insurance agency by offering professional service at competitive prices. Turner Wood & Smith, insuring your future since 1905.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm Gary Glenn, and this is Hall County Sports Television. The subject for this particular segment, cross country. And one of the more successful cross country teams around the last several years has been the North Hall Boys cross country team. They won a state championship several years ago, and last year they finished as state runners-up in AAA. But now it's up to 4A and kind of a whole new ball game we bring to the show now. Coach Drew Rogers, the head coach of the North Hall Boys cross country team. And Drew, thanks for taking time out to be with us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right. Now, so far this year, you're off and running, so to speak. I guess pun intended. And you've got a championship, in a 3rd place under your belt already. So tell me how the season has gone for you.
We started real well. We ran the Northeast Georgia meet against 40 quality schools from the Northeast Georgia, and we won that meet against a couple of good 4A schools. We beat North Oconee, and we beat Marist, who are 2 of the top teams in 4A. Then this past weekend, we ran against St. Pius up in Barry and came in 3rd, lost to them and a team from Auburn, Alabama. So we're still a little bit behind Pius right now, but we're happy with where we are right now. We just got to keep working and try to improve and close that gap on St. Pius.
What's the makeup of the team this year, Drew, as far as your seniors, sophomores, juniors, and all that kind of stuff? I know you're having to replace some folks, and it seems you have to do that almost every year, but you still continue to have some success.
Well, this is the first year that we haven't had to replace our number 1 runner. So our number 1, in fact, our 2 top runners from last year are back. So
okay.
This is the first time in probably 7 or 8 years that it's been the case. Quentin Miles and Bryce were our top 2 runners last year, and they're both back this year. We did lose Zach Hill, who went to West Georgia, and we lost Bailey Plus, who are number 3 and 5 runners last year. But we have Tommy Johnston, who's a sophomore, running number 4. We have Corson Teasley, the junior, running 3 right now. We have a couple other kids running really good at 5 and 6. Eli Parker at number 5 and Gregor Seb at number 6. So our team is pretty strong right now. It's just a matter of, going out there and getting the miles in and getting the races in.
Is it a case, Drew, of success breeding success? And I mean, you attract the good athletes, the good runners out of your just general student population. People want to be a part of something that's a winning team.
And I don't think it's so much attracting the best athletes. We get the people who are willing to work. We get kids who come out. A lot of these guys were not much when they were freshmen. They come out and they work and they work and they get a little bit better the next year, a little bit better the next year, and by the time they become juniors and seniors, they end up being very, very, very successful.
Sometimes that raw speed is just there, as far as even sprinters or even long distance runners. But when you work and work and work, like you say, the endurance comes along, and you can maintain that pace for a long time. A sport like cross country, of course, that's very key.
Right. Really, our 2 seniors from last year are a good example of that really have no natural speed. But by the time they were finished, one was, top 5 or 6 in the state, and the other one was top 13 in the state. Just a matter of getting that endurance in and working at it for 4 straight years, and it just makes a big difference.
Well, now it's a kind of a different animal for you. You're up in 4A. So tell me a little bit about the transition now from 3A to 4A.
Well, all the top 3A schools went up with us. We went up, White County went up, Pius went up, Woodward Academy went up. They're some of the top schools in AAA. Marist is up there. They've always been one of the top schools. Marist girls are really, really good. Their boys, for them, are a little bit down. Down for them is still pretty good. So it's going to be. They've been saying that probably 4A is probably going to be the toughest classification in the state this year, and we'll be right in the thick of things.
Well, you mentioned that St. Pius is kind of an old rival of yours. Beat you at state last year in AAA. Now they've moved up to 4A, and it's beaten you already once this year. How do you realistically see yourself as you look around and see the times and so forth, knowing, of course, that sometimes when you run head-to-head, things change. So where do you think you ought to be ranked right now? You began the season, I think, as a co-ranked number 1, but sometimes, as you said before we turned the cameras on, people doesn't look like they look at the race results, and now we're into the racing season. So, Coach, where do you think you ought to be?
Well, we're definitely not number 1 because Pius beat us. Right now, Woodward has better times than us. They ran on a fast course, so we'll see them in October, so we won't really know till then. But right now, we probably should be ranked number 3. But we'll see how it goes from there. We still have time to get better.
What about around here? How has cross country improved around in the Gainesville-Hall County area?
I'd say it's gotten a lot better. The Flowery Branch has always been a powerhouse. We've been pretty good the past couple of years. Chestatee been strong the last couple of years. Johnson has really improved this year. We saw them at the Northeast Georgia meet, and they, even though they didn't place very high, they ran in the championship races, which is the toughest races. And if they had probably run the other races, they probably would have won them. But they're very improved this year.
Mm-hmm. All right, what do you got coming up, Coach?
We have the West Hall Invitational coming up next Tuesday, and after that, it's about 15-20 schools, and then the weekend after that, we go to Furman to race against some of the best schools in South Carolina and North Carolina.
We'll sort of see where you are, right?
Yep, see where we stand, just race some different people. We get tired of racing the same people all the time. So.
and do you sort of now back things off a little bit as you get toward the end of the season, as they say, rest a little bit, rest the legs?
Well, right now we run on tired legs. We're working out, doing hard workouts a couple days before the meet. So when we go to meets, we're not really 100%. But when we get toward the end of the year, when region and state meet, we'll cut back on our mileage, cut back on our intensities, and we'll have fresh legs. And hopefully, we'll see our times improve, and hopefully we'll catch up the Woodwards and the Piuses.
All right. Drew Rogers, thanks for coming in, Coach. Appreciate it very much, and good luck to the Trojans the rest of the way, and the Lady Trojans as well.
Thank you.
Also in cross country, Chestatee's Jack Carnes took second place at Union County, and the War Eagles finished second as a team behind Union. Chestatee's girls squeaked by Hayesville, North Carolina by just 4 points, led by Lindsey Grader, Abby Cleish, and Mary Barnett. The War Eagles then hosted an invitational meet just this past Saturday with White County's 2-time AAA champ Jenna Gearing knocking over a minute off the course record held by North Hall's Victoria Rogers. Gearing touring the 5K in 18:49:44. What a time. Lady Warriors won the team title, followed by Wanda Barra and Johnson in that order. Chestatee was fourth, led by freshman Lindsey Grader's second-place time of 20:49.97. Now, on the boys' side, Johnson's Gerardo Suarez, who won the 8 Quad A region title last year, won the War Eagle Invitational with a run of 17 minutes, 0.58 seconds. Lakeview's Lewis Brooks was third in 17:27.46, just ahead of Carnes, who ran fourth in 17:45.10. Winder won the boys' team title, followed by White County, West Hall, and Johnson in that order. Well, the wrap-up is next when Hall County Sports concludes.
Mountain View Auto Repair is your local full-service auto repair shop. Trusted with your vehicles for over 20 years, our experience will ensure that your vehicle will stay well-maintained year-round. You can trust our experts in everything from transmissions to brakes to engine repairs and oil changes. So visit owner Danny Hammock and his staff of professionals at 3365 Mountain View Road in Gainesville, or give them a call at 770-535-7278. That's Mountain View Auto Repair for your complete auto service.
Okay, in a completely different sport and on the other side of the world practically, in a balanced attack throughout the 2014 ICF Dragon Boat World Championships held in Boston, Poland, that ended this past Sunday, by the way, the under 18-year-old members of the Lanier Canoe and Kayak Club had a little something to do with Dragon Boat USA snagging the Nations Cup. The junior mixed 10-seat 2,000-meter race reportedly had an understaffed and undersized USA going at it with just 9 paddlers and compared with the other countries undersized. LCKC members Anastasia Hack, Dustin Gratton, Michael Olson, and Tyler Martin, along with drummer and senior member of Lanier, Macy Dwyer, and steered by Jim Odell, held off the Polish team in a furious battle in turn 3 of the oval course that saw the Poles trying to squeeze USA off the course in the middle of the turn. USA hugged the boys and paddle snapping against the Polish kids. This resulted in a disqualification for the Poles and had USA finish 4th. So the difference in points for the Nations Cup, overall world champions, USA 89.2, Poland 82.9. The Lanier women also had a lot to say about the Nations Cup as they took overall women's points. Now, the level of competition across the board, I hear, has risen with several current and former canoe and kayak sprint Olympians paddling on most of the European teams, seniors and masters categories. Some other highlights of the meet for the LCKC Team USA members were the Masters Mixed Women and Men 500-meter final, in which Sean Allen and Laurie Moore paddled to a hard-fought bronze medal. And then Moore found herself on the podium again in the Masters Women's 500-meter final, with the ladies scoring silver just behind the Hungarian ladies. Moore also came away with silver in the Masters Women's 200-meter 20-seat boat. Allen and Odell competed in the Masters Mixed 10-seat in a heartbreaking finish for Team USA, getting beaten at the line by host Poland for 3rd, with positions 2nd through the 4th, separated by a mere 0.3 of a second. Well, to quote Coach Odell, throughout the event, our Lanier athletes performed above and beyond the call of duty. He serves as the LCKC Dragon Boat coach in addition to competing. They were some of the best prepared for race day, worked their tails off to get ready, and were honestly a dragon head better in how they raced by comparison to other paddlers. Most of us have no medals for our efforts, though. We can hold our heads high with our contribution to the entire team being world champions. Congratulations. That was a quote from Coach Odell, by the way, end quote. And my congratulations to Team USA. Okay, and finally, many of the local powerlifters will head to Kennesaw this Saturday to compete in the America's Cup meet. The Georgia Iron Dogs out of Gainesville expected to field teams in both bench only and full power. We'll have a report on that in more sports next week. That's the show for this week. I'm Gary Glenn, Hall County Sports.
Hall County Sports is brought to you in part by Green Ford on Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville. Check out the latest deals. And remember, when you go Green Ford. By Mountain View Auto Repair, a full-service shop for all of your automotive needs. Call Danny at Mountain View Auto Repair at 770-535-7278. And by McKelvey Road United Methodist Church. Visit us on McKelvey Road in Oakwood with 3 worship services every Sunday morning, Kids Town and adult small groups. McKelvey Road United Methodist Church is dedicated to transforming the world through the good news of Jesus Christ. And by Turner Wood & Smith, serving your insurance needs for over 100 years.
Oh.